Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Friday's Market Wrap-Up. Here at Top Gun Options, I'm Matthew Buckley, call sign Wiz, the CEO and founder here at TGO, and great week, another good week here at Top Gun Options. Got a lot of shots, a lot of kills. We have a bear call spread we placed in our Monday weekly options brief. It was the 42.5, 43 bear call spread on FXI. That's the iShares China ETF. Got some relatively mixed numbers on China trade that they reported, but this trade is looking, as of me shooting this video, to expire for max profit. We are risking about $5,300 to potentially make $2,300. And as you can see with FXI, we've been pounding this thing into the dirt for the past week and a half. Called this a dead cat bounce, and that's exactly what it is. FXI is heading lower. We'll talk about what Peter Navarro said this morning, another interview with Navarro, but this trade's looking good. As of me shooting the video right now, we're up $2,000 in that trade, 93% profit on the credit we took in, $2,000. Let me get a hell yeah if you wouldn't mind making $2,000 this week. We also have two great looking trades on EWZ. That's the Brazilian ETF. I got filled on the bull put spread. This was Tuesday's primary live trade brief. I put on a 44.5 bull put spread. Got filled on that, as you can see with the orange square. I did not get filled on the bear call spread, but the bull put spread obviously is looking at max profit. The bear call spread, the 47.5. Take a look at what EWZ did. It did exactly what I said it was going to do this week. Take a look at the chart. EWZ, look at that. It popped, and what did I say it was going to do? Level off this week, and that's exactly what it did. There's Monday. Put this iron. It was a range-bound trade, right? An iron condor. I put the bull put spread on right there, and then put the bear call spread on right up here. Only got filled on the bull put spread, but if you got in both those EWZ trades, that's looking at a max profit of there's $1,800 in the bear call spread, and 18 and 18. Look at that, 36. Both spreads were equally potential profit. $3,600 profit out of those two EWZ trades. And add that to the $2,000 so far in FXI. Oh, and by the way, on Monday afternoon, we in our solo Amazon brief, my God, man, we put on an 1872.5 bull put spread. What did Amazon do this week? That thing is up like 73%. I think it's about $1,700 right now. Look at that, folks. Men line numbers don't. There's what, nearly $7,000 in profit on trades that we covered this week here at Top Gun Options. Guess what I'm going to do next week? You're going to be able to see all this stuff live. We do this 3-4 times a year. We open up the doors to what is called our full throttle training program. Other folks give you 103 PowerPoint slides, ask you to sign up for some big fee, and then once you get in there, you find out that the dude behind the curtain sucks. I don't do that. I open the doors to my squadron. Everything we're doing next week is free and open to the public. You're going to get to come into Top Gun Options and kick the tires. All you need to do is head to go.topgunoptions.com/FT. I've been doing some research, folks. Other services charge you to get into things like, we charge for our live trading. We don't give that away for free. I'm like, okay. Well, I do. So, and a lot of folks, when they do the full throttle, the free week, they're like, I can't believe you're giving away trades that could potentially pay for years of the service. Look at the trades that I just covered for this week. It's about $7,000 in potential profit this week if you got filled on those trades. Again, men line numbers don't. Come check us out next week. All right, we got to talk. Royal Marines seized an Iranian tanker in Gibraltar a couple days ago. They were violating sanctions. They arrested the captain. What did Iran say? We're going to smack Britain in the face. Really don't think he smacked Britain in the face. You're going to go out and duel. So what happened? Great Britain is sending the HMS Duncan, Her Majesty's ship Duncan, to the region. So now they're going to have two ships in the area to protect their tankers. So Iran isn't taking too kindly to getting their ship seized, and they're going to try and get these back. Yesterday, the Montrose, HMS Montrose, had to intervene. They had to over the radio and did some pretty good maneuvering around Iranian patrol boats and said, back away, man, or we're going to open fire. This is going to come to a head. Trump ain't going to let this go, and you can be damn sure Bibi Netanyahu is not going to let Iran go quietly into that good night with a nuke. China. I told you earlier in the week, what was it, Monday, Tuesday, that we approved $2.2 billion in arms sale to Taiwan, F-16, Stinger missiles, M1 Abrams battle tanks. What did China say? We are going to sanction American companies who sell weapons to Taiwan. Whoops. Okay. A lot of companies are in the line of fire of this, and this is getting serious. Obviously, I've briefed you on the weapon sales. I briefed you on our ships sailing through the Strait of Taiwan. We have a defense of Taiwan agreement, folks. We've agreed. It's on paper. You know how Trump gives our NATO allies grief about stuff. Well, guess what? If Turkey's on my tongue. I'll get to that in a second. If Taiwan's attacked by China, we're supposed to defend them and intervene. So, do you think Trump would do that? Do you think China thinks that Trump would do that? This is going to come to a head too, folks. This is not good. Turkey was on my tongue. Why? They took delivery of Russian S-400 air defense system. Turkey is a NATO member, ladies and gentlemen. It is a radical Islamic republic. Erdogan is a human piece of trash. He's a radical Islamic freak show. So a NATO member country is getting a Russian air defense system. Does that make any freaking sense? It makes as much sense as Germany getting 70% of their energy from Russia. What a clown car. Get rid of Turkey. Bring Ukraine into NATO. Bring other countries that deserve to be and actually are good. Folks, Turkey, I've had it. We're done. Trump demands new sanctions on who? Beijing over what? Iranian oil imports. So for about 8 months or maybe a year, whatever it was, I've been excoriating the president over this. Remember, sanctions back on Iran, but I'm giving exemptions to 8 countries: China, India, Japan, South Korea. Who else? Who am I missing? Whatever. It was like 8 countries. Well, now that he put really, really more sanctions on, they're not supposed to be getting oil from Iran. They are. You think China cares what we think? They need oil. They're going to get it from Iran. So here we go. Trump's demanding new sanctions on Beijing. Look at the market. Up 160 points, the Dow, at record highs. The S&P 500 at record high. Everything's record highs. And we have all this stuff going on. Peter Navarro was on, again, CNBC, I think the second time this week, saying, what? Well, now here's some funny language. He said the negotiations have entered a quiet period, kind of like, before a company reports earnings, they enter a quiet period. Navarro just said today, well, now we're kind of in a quiet period. I think they know that their over-talking on this China deal looks stupid. From Mnuchin months ago saying, hey, we're a week away from a deal, to this stuff. He actually said, that Ambassador Lighthizer is, hopping on an airplane in the coming future, and Mnuchin. Coming future, is that a date? We don't even have a date, folks. So Lighthizer and Mnuchin might be on a plane soon to go talk to the Chinese. Okay. And he says, don't believe the China or the United States press. He called the Wall Street, dude, he's a pro-business guy, Navarro, called the Wall Street Journal stories garbage about what's going on with trade. You know what he said? He's like, the Wall Street Journal's trying to maneuver and box the president into negotiating positions. He's like, that just isn't the case here. So, as I've said, and I told my members, I reinforced it several times this week, especially with the Fed chief failing miserably at his job. I said, you have to listen to this stuff yourself. You can listen to me and get my take on it, but if you're not listening to the direct words from Trump or the Chinese government, you're seeing it through a filter. Okay, so I do my best to give it a the appropriate spin, but I strongly recommend, kind of like with the Fed testimony this afternoon. I got to be honest, completely disappointed in the Fed. We actually got some inflation numbers that should give the Fed pause. Yesterday, we got CPI coming in a little hot, and PPI today, the producer price index. So inflation is ticking up, right? The Fed's target interest is 2%. We aren't doing that bad. I mean, we're in a even with this a little bit of a tick up, we're in a very low inflationary environment. But folks, this guy does core producer prices print hotter than expected. Does the Fed even care? No, the Fed doesn't care. They know they have to cut in July. And as I told you this week, we got people running around now calling for a 50 basis point cut. Are you kidding me? This is the market drunks, folks. Don't tell me that the Fed hasn't been boxed into a corner and they're not reacting to the market forces or the president. They absolutely are. Donald Trump has done a great job making the Fed out to be the bad guy. So if or when we get a big market pullback or even a recession, Donald Trump is going to tar Jerome Powell. And he might even fire the dude like, hey, man, if this guy had only listened to me, if he had cut interest rates, if he had done quantitative easing and stopped easing his balance sheet with the, Dow 30,000. It's going to be interesting, folks. So getting ready to get into earnings season, hot and heavy. Next week, The warnings are that they're going to be brutal, and earnings season almost here, and companies are warning the results won't be pretty. I'm going to make a prediction right now. This is in fact the case. The last time I saw this many companies pre-warn that earnings are going to suck was in 2006 when I was sitting in the Chicago Board of Trade. So what's going to happen? They're going to report over the coming weeks, these companies, and they're going to be less than brutal, and it's going to look like a win, and things are going to go up. This has been happening since day one on Wall Street. Hey, go out and warn the street that we're going to suck at earnings, okay? Hey, they sucked a little less than we predicted, so the stock goes up and everybody's bullish. That's great, man. You can't fight the Fed. You can't fight momentum. Look at this thing, man. But I don't know too many people jumping in with both feet into equities right now at record highs. Okay. We have 2 weeks? 2 weeks to go until the Fed, 2.5 weeks until the Fed meeting. You just watched the Fed meeting live for the past 2 days, right? Jerome Powell more or less gave you what should be going on at this, or what is going to go on at this Fed meeting. You know, 2.5 weeks in this market is a world of time, and like I said, earnings coming out. This is going to be interesting. Another reason, subtle plug, to head to go.topgunoptions.com/ft. See how I'm going to be trading these earnings this earnings season. Also potentially hedging against something happening with Iran, the worsening China deal. You can see with FXI, it's kind of a little bit of a dead cat bounce for now on a ledge. Anybody, we don't even have a date where Lighthizer and Mnuchin are hopping on an airplane. So we might just hang out here, or we might head lower on FXI. So had a lot of Amazon news this week. Like I showed you, we had a really good Amazon bull put spread on Monday. I'd close that out for, was it a 3-4 day gain of about 75%, about $1,600. That was a pre-earnings trade, and Amazon's looking great. But Goldman this week made a fool of themselves. Buy UPS, FedEx, because concern over Amazon cutting them out is overblown. I could not disagree more with this analyst at Goldman Sachs. That is completely false. In about a year, Amazon Air, year and a half, is going to have 70 aircraft. It will be its own UPS and FedEx. Where are they going to make up that traffic, folks? If Amazon's shipping their own stuff, and they have been using these guys in the United States Postal Service for years, what's Goldman saying? It's stupid. That dude needs to be fired. A little worried about the JEDI contract, Joint Enterprise Defense Infrastructure. It's the military cloud. It's down between Microsoft and Amazon. Oracle's in the corner, kicking their legs, screaming like a petulant child, filing lawsuits that, me too. These two big boys are bullying us. If Amazon gets it, great. If not, I don't think it impacts the business that much. But we'll see over the coming weeks. It's supposed to be announced at the end of July here, so we'll see. Loved what Amazon's doing. It's retraining a third of its workforce. Plans to train 100,000 workers in new skills, from machine learning to nursing. Why? Because they're getting rid of them. They're being replaced by robots. Amazon is giving workers a chance to learn to code before robots take their jobs. I briefed you last month on Amazon buying these new, boxing machine 2000s, right? The best human at Amazon could box 200 packages in an hour. This machine does like 600 to 700. So what are they doing? They're firing all the people that used to put stuff in boxes. You know what they did? They gave them a nice severance package of 10 grand and 3 months pay if it came with a big stipulation, if they went out to their car and put on a Amazon Prime sticker and became a delivery vehicle. You know what's going to happen in a couple of years? Ain't going to be nobody driving those vehicles. It's going to be Amazon drones and driverless cars. So Amazon, love it. It had a rip your face off rally this week. Since our brief on look at that, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, boom. And there's Friday. That's when we put on our 1875 bull put spread. We're having a blast in our solo Amazon service, folks. That's a separate service here at Top Gun Options. It's not part of our full throttle training, but we'll cover that next week. Like I said, Monday night, 9 o'clock. The whole flight schedule's on the page here, so you can look down and kind of see what's going on next week. I need to update it and make sure it's super tight. But head to go.topgunoptions.com/FT and have a great rest of your day. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you for Monday's Market Outlook, and then Monday night at 9 o'clock for our Welcome Aboard brief. We'll see you.